Okay, folks, round two here. Back to doing the black lining on the Valentine here. And there are a lot of little details on here. And I'd like to hop around a little bit because otherwise it's a bit boring to be working on a certain area of the tank for so long. It just becomes a little tedious. But it's a lot easier just to pull some of the color out here and then get it and then grab it from here. But some of these vehicles have a whole lot of intricate details to them. The Crusader, for instance, has all kinds of rivets on it. Rivets galore. And this one's not too far behind. There's a fair number of rivets on here. And a bunch of irregular looking surfaces. And we're going to assume that these details are right. I'm not here to... Let's make sure that the casting for this Valentine is 100% accurate. Needs to look correct ish. Needs to look correct ish. I like the look of the drums on the petrol drums on a tank. Looks good. And supposedly he's got jettisoned, but I don't, removed before the tank went into combat. But I'm sure some tanks have gone into combat with the tank in with the with the fuel tank in. Otherwise, how would you know it wouldn't be a good idea? Hey, we brought the tank into combat and all kinds of hell ensued. Well, let's not do that again. Most lessons are are learned the hard way. And this has little headlamps that look to me like they're uncovered. That's how we're going to paint them. Yeah, I had to cut the other session off because my daughter called from Scotland and she had some questions for me. That WhatsApp works pretty well, actually. Probably would have called her mom, but her mom's not awake yet. It's 8:30, or she's might be awake, but she hasn't left her room yet. Oh shit, let me check on something. Let's go this. Okay, good. I just don't remember changing those settings. I've gone on the phone live so many times now. I'm kind of used to that. Does that look significantly different for you guys? Quality? Not obviously it's vertical as opposed to this one being horizontal, but is the resolution okay on it? Or is it worse quality? I honestly don't know. Can you even tell a difference? I mean, obviously, the vertical picture is that part is noticeable. So the resolution looks better on here than on the phone, or they're about the same. Historically, the phone one was worse. Historically, as soon as they knew, oh, you're filming on a phone, well, you're maxed out at 720, and 720 is pretty poor. I've got no drink. I took away my drink. I drunk my drink. I think it's very similar, just the other way, zoomed in, so the model's taking more of the screen. Both are good. Okay, well that's good that they're equivalent. Well, you get the other one, and you get more passers-by. Of course, you get people that want me to eat roaches and shit like that. Wrong channel for that. This isn't Fear Factor. I never watched that show. Like, I don't need money so badly that I need to, do shit that, eat a scorpion or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And their shows are definitely were created for like, hey, let's get some pretty girl with, to do, things that are self-deprecating. I don't know. Assuming there's pretty girls on their shows, I don't know. I don't watch those reality shows. As soon as I found out, oh, reality shows are staged, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that shit. You know, wrestling by another name. Good morning, everyone. What are you having for breakfast? A Madagascar roach? Nope. I'm not eating alive anything, much less something I don't even want to step on. I hate those things. There's very few bugs that I like. Ladybugs are okay. Believe it or not, I think stink bugs are kind of cool, or at least what we call stink bugs here. They're kind of a cool looking beetle. Beetles are all right. Beetles are all right. I'm not eating any of them. We went to Mexico. The area that we went to Mexico over the summer is known for having bugs in their cuisine, and I'm not eating a fucking bug. I'm not gonna, just on principle alone. my ancestors didn't come all the way over here to straighten that shit out. No. It's a source of protein. I'll eat bark off a tree. Thank you. But it is on the phone feed, easier to, once I found out this morning, it's easier to silence people than it is on the computer. Which is fine because I get more people that come in, randos that come in and to misbehave on the phone feed instead of the computer. The computer feed, it's difficult to do for some reason. On the phone feed, you just click on the person's name, hide user from channel, done. You can say whatever the heck you want, you crazy person, you. You're eating eggs from down the street, bacon and toasted raisin bread. My wife hates raisin bread. I love it. It's not something I normally have because I'd eat the whole fucking loaf in one sitting. The serving size is one. I'm a food addict. I like to eat. I don't necessarily like to eat things that are unhealthy. I just like to eat. Raisin toast, yeah, raisin toast. Yummy. My wife hates raisins. Like it's just a dried uh, grape. There's issues with raisin. She says that when she was a kid, she'd pick all the pick all the raisins out of Raisin Bran. I wish I had more raisins. Like, I don't want the bran part. That's the part that makes you blow ass. Fresh farm eggs. I never eat eggs. I don't have anything against them. It's just not something I eat. I mean, I do like if I'm on vacation or something like that, but I don't make myself eggs every morning. Let's put it that way. Whew. I think that's about it. And sometimes, the difference is noticeable. I don't know. I think it makes more of a difference to see it across the table. And I just don't see any reason to use an enamel product to do this. I see no reason to do that. Because then you got to clear coat the whole thing in something so it doesn't eat it, like clear coat and gloss, and then go over and do the same thing. The product isn't any darker. I mean, I guess if you made your own mix, it could be darker, but I'm actually okay being the color that it is, and just if you have to make something darker, just go ahead and go over it. All right, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back in a moment. I don't see a lot of people doing World War II stuff in the Pacific. When I was a kid, I remember seeing a lot more movies about stuff in the Pacific than I do now. And I don't know if that's just there's a lot of black and white movies made in the Pacific in the 50s and stuff. But I've only gamed land combat in the Pacific maybe twice ever. And it'd have to be something that's not like a beach landing. Like doing something like Saipan or something like that just doesn't interest me at all. The beach, I don't want to do. I don't want to do Normandy. I don't want to do a Normandy beach scenario. Like it's very one dimensional as a game. I think I've only played one Pacific game. It was a chain of command in New Guinea. I think it was in New Guinea. Yeah, Australians with 3 Matildas. I played Japanese and we couldn't destroy the Matildas no matter what we did. So it's like, just, okay, just ignore them. Pretty much the only thing they can do to you is run you over, which you see that coming a mile away. Or have a coax firing at you. That's it, because his main gun's no good. Against ground forces. In that scenario, we didn't have a vehicle. And like a 37 millimeter anti-tank gun and like a infantry gun or something like that. I don't care what anti-tank gun you have as the Japanese. You're not going to be able to touch a Matilda. Well, I guess I didn't take my wife's car to go do a PM this morning. It's not really not due for. It's got like 900 miles more to go. A couple hundred miles anyway. So maybe we'll do that next weekend. So we'll have to do a short Saturday show in the morning. And I went ahead and made the Mark III turrets, even though I don't know that it's going to be used that much as a Matilda Mark III. I was surprised that some of these were used still in Tunisia. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a 2-pounder gun, but the 2-pounder gun in early 1943, yeah, that doesn't cut it. That's not good. But it seems like the equipment, the uniforms that the British used in Tunisia was more like the Northwest Europe uniform than the desert uniform, from what I can tell. I mean, assuming that we're not talking about Montgomery's forces. Well, even Montgomery, I don't know. I mean, it gets cold in Tunisia. Or it did in the winter. I mean, is the Valentine anybody's favorite tank? It looks awkward. Oh, here we go. Hold on one second. All right. Yeah, I mean, it really is. Is the Valentine anybody's favorite tank? I haven't seen anybody say, "Oh man, I love the Valentine tank." I mean, I guess you could use some of these as Soviet service, but I don't go there. I don't give the Soviets a lend lease. They got to fight the Germans on their own. Maybe I could give them some Studebaker trucks, but tanks, nah, nah. Soviets have enough tanks, and they have cool tanks. And last thing you want is send them some lend lease tank, and which all the British tanks have pretty good markings. You put them in Soviet service, and their markings suck. They don't have anything. Devoid of markings. Or devoid of any markings that look worth a damn. And then I got to see what markings these things use. I think this unit used a very rudimentary, like boring ass freaking markings. This thing called a Diabolo, which is basically two triangles. It looks like an hourglass, basically. Two triangles, one on top of each other. And I don't want to smell this. If this is enamels, I don't want to smell this enamel stuff. But there's still holdouts out there that use enamel paint. No, thank you. And then it'll end up getting a tiny little bit of dusting over this. But tiny bit, because we don't want any of that dust to get into these dark areas. The whole point in doing this is so it'll pop at a distance. If you end up covering over that, then what's the point of even doing it in the first place? Got that. Ah, back here in the back. So I think some of these vehicles, the British vehicles in particular, we're going to need to add some green stuff, cloth things, baggage. This will give you something to look at. Otherwise, it's pretty barren looking. Okay, I think, let's look. We got this area here. It's taken care of. This area here is taken care of. It doesn't take that long to do. You just have to stay on it. I think these are good. Well, let's do the turrets. One closed, one open. And the one that's really interesting is this clamshell, almost like a three-way oyster. It's like flap and then one in the front, you know. The later Valentine changed it again. The later Valentine changes it again, so, you know, I'm wondering if they're just experimenting on different ways to get out of the hatch. Like, well, we didn't like that one. This is a double flap design here. Wee. A lot of rivets on here. Super cramped turret. What's up, Kevin? You don't have to turn your clocks forward, I don't think, right? Arizona says, screw that noise. We're not doing that time change thing. Yeah, that's smart, but I'd prefer them go to the I'd prefer to them go to the summertime because I don't want it to be dark at 5 o'clock when I get home from work. That's the only reason. In the morning, I don't care. I've had sleep. I've had coffee. When it's dark when you get home from work, it's like, man, I don't want to do anything. Like, dude, it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, well, I'd rather be the other way. That would be my preference: is to change it to the other one, or keep this one and just leave it alone. So is it 6 a.m. there now, or is it something different? Because if it's 6 a.m. there now, that means that you're on standard time and you don't change from standard time. Man, there's these really subtle details here. There we go, there at the top. I've heard it may be done away with. I know, they keep saying 7:07. Okay, so you guys are permanently on summertime. No, wait a second. I may have that wrong. Hold on. Central is 8. Mountain is 7. Okay, so you guys are permanently on this time because you're on Mountain, which is almost like an afterthought time zone. It's definitely the one that has the least population on it. Like this tiny little sliver. Central's really wide too. We still have 3 weeks before we change from GMT to BST. I thought you guys didn't change, but I don't care that it's dark in the mornings. I just don't want it to be dark in the afternoons. It's for the children. You're not feeling too good? Gotta go. Okay, man. Hope you feel better. I was so happy when I woke up this morning and realized, oh my God, it's Saturday. Oh, it's Saturday. Thank you. No more work week. So we're going to do the black lining on this and then we're going to stop for this morning. Let this soak it up. Definitely a cramped turret. 2 guys in there. I think the commander's the loader. Like, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Tank commander handoff. I've thought about actually adding some paint to this Nuln Oil, making it a little thicker. But I think that's probably not a wise move. Who knows if it'll flow well. You miss anything? Yeah, these rivets back here. Bloody rivets. All right, so that's where we're going to stop for this morning. Meanwhile, when we'll come back, we'll paint the unit symbols on there, put the arm of service markings, whatever the heck they might be. Find out which one of the regiments this is going to be. And one of them, at least, is going to have the Operation Crusader markings on the turret. And the other one won't. Just so